Hey everyone, 007K here. Lately I've been getting more comments about my fish tank, like how cool it looks, what people like about it. Just recently I had someone ask me if I could do a video tour on it. Well, the thing is, I did a video tour on it a while ago, but it's, like I said, been a while ago. So it's been like 3 months since I've done that. 2 or 3 months, maybe longer. So I decided I'm going to do an updated fish tank tour today. If you want to see what my fish tank looked like before, you can click the video here and it'll take you straight to it. To start off with, we have 2 high wattage LED bulbs in here and here. I don't remember what the exact wattage is, but it's higher than normal. That's just so my plants grow faster, which if you reference back my old video, you'll see that they grew very rapidly. So as you can see, I got all my fish here. So to start off with, I got this log back here. We go to the thrift store a lot, and one day my sister, it was my sister or my mom, found that log, this tiki head, which I later found out was Squidward's house from SpongeBob, and the Coliseum at the thrift store for like $5 or less for all 3 of them. And then we got some aquarium plants on the left over here, an aquarium plant in the middle. We have a whole bunch more different variety of plants, which are smaller. All the small fish and the ghost shrimps like to hide in there. And then the mollies and the platys like to pick off leaves from these plants. They pick off a little bit over here too, but it's more over here. Alright, so let's start out with the mollies. So actually no, these are the platys. Yeah, let's start out with the platys then. These platys I got at PetSmart for about 50 cents a piece. Every now and then the PetSmart in my area will overstock their tanks and have like a massive sale, and I always get my fish when they do that. Now the platys have respawned several times. Most of the fries die just because, I mean, I have a bunch of other fish in here that eat them, but I've had a few survive. I've had a few others, I'm not sure if I can find them. I've had a few fries survive before, and as you can see it looks like she's pregnant again. So next up we'll go to the mollies. You can see here's one right here. I have a couple other mollies. There's one up there. There's another one. There's another one. There's one up there. All my fish have a place to hide now, so I won't be able to find them as easily. But the mollies I also got for 50 cents at PetSmart when they had their overstock sale. So we'll move on to the gouramis here. I had one of my friends, she has a fish tank too. The gouramis overgrew her fish tank, which is, if I remember correctly, like 2 or 3 gallons. And she had 3 of these gouramis in it. So obviously it was way too small of a tank for those, so I inherited them because gouramis are not very cheap. They're like $4 or $5 a piece at Petco. I adopted them and just put them in my tank, and they're really cool fish. So next up we got my angelfish. Now if you look at my old video you'll see how small they were before, and these guys are huge now. I have 3 of them. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. They've gotten pretty big now and they're pretty cool fish to have in my tank. I haven't really had problems with aggression. Well, just kidding, maybe spoke too soon. I haven't really had any problems with aggression with them as far as like attacking other fish and stuff, but they do attack each other sometimes, which as far as I know is normal. In the last video I thought I was going to have to separate them just because they kept nipping back and forth at each other, but getting the opinion of multiple people, apparently that's normal for angelfish to do. And they look healthy and happy, so I just haven't done anything about that and just let them do their thing. They have gotten quite a bit less aggressive since then, so that's good. So next up we got the neon tetras, and I have a lot of them in here. So the neon tetras like to hide in these plants, they like to hide in the Coliseum, they like to hide in these plants, in the log. They like to hide everywhere, and I've probably tripled my stock on neon tetras since the last video. These things respawn so fast, it's not even funny. But they're a nice addition, and they work out very well, so they had a little bit of extra personality to the tank, and they look really cool too. So, since the last video, I have gotten a few new fish too. I've gotten this plecos right here. I used to have 2 plecos, but one of them didn't make it, unfortunately. This guy ran me like $6 or $7, I think. And the reason I got him is because the whole tank was being overrun with algae and moss. So I bought 2 of them, and one of them ended up dying the first day it got here. And this one survived. So I was thinking I was going to have to get a second one, but he's actually been doing a really nice job of cleaning up the algae off the front of the tank. So the next new addition we got here is a bunch of guppies. They're fancy guppies. I got like six of them. They haven't respawned yet, but I have a feeling that it's going to happen soon. This isn't really a new addition, but I forgot to mention it in my old video. I have 3 Cory Catfish. So the Cory Catfish cleans up the debris on the bottom of the tank. Whenever stuff collects on the bottom, he'll eat it. He just kind of likes to dig around in the dirt, swim around like that for a couple minutes a day, and then he'll just go right back to the bottom. I have 2 more of them which do exactly the same thing. 2 of them are fully grown and one of them is still young, very small. And another new addition I had are silver gouramis. So I love the red dwarf gouramis quite a bit, so I ended up deciding to get more silver gouramis. These gouramis are kind of like the red gouramis, but obviously they're silver. They have kind of a blue tint to them. I think they look really cool. I have 3 of them. There's one. I'm not sure where the second and third one are, but they're probably hiding. I also have ghost shrimp, which like to hang out in the Coliseum, like to hang out in the plants. They're very hard to spot. Every now and then I'll see them running across to grab food or something, but they mostly stay in here or in the plants. You rarely see them. Every now and then you'll see them come parading out to like get food or something, but they more often than not stay in here. I didn't realize this when I bought them, but apparently they die off really fast. But on the other hand, they also reproduce really fast. So it's kind of a trade-off. I'd rather not have them die as frequently, but apparently they only last like a year if you're lucky. So yeah, but luckily, like I said before, they reproduce really fast, so I have a constant supply of ghost shrimp in my tank. And before I had the hose going into a little jar of gravel to kind of filter out dirt so that the shrimps could eat them. Now I just have a little black foam piece there because I kept having to readjust the dirt, and every time I would adjust it, it would totally fill up the whole tank with dirt and just make it look really dirty for like a week. I got really tired of that, and I found out that having the foam has the same purpose. It collects dirt and stuff so that the ghost shrimps can eat it, but when I turn off the filter for any reason, it doesn't just send it everywhere and clog up the entire tank. So the heaters that I'm running, you can see one peeking out of the corner there. That's a Tetra Brand 250 watt heater. That thing has served me very well since I've had it. I highly recommend it. This one is plugged into the main power supply, and then I also have a zacro heater over here. It's more hidden in the plants though. I do make sure that it has enough circulation because obviously I don't want it to explode in my fish tank. But the zacro has served me very well too. It's 150 watt. The 150 watt is hooked up to the battery backup. So I have a little plug right here, which will switch between main power and backup power depending on the status of main power. So if the power goes out in the night, it automatically switches it over without me having to wake up and just transfer everything to my solar generator. And there's the controller box for my solar generator. Solar panels are outside. If you want to see how I built this, click the video right here. What this does is it generates power from the sun and stores it in a giant deep cycle battery inside of there. And then whenever the power goes out, everything connected to that plug right there switches over to the solar power. And with as much power as this fish tank requires, I have the 150 watt heater hooked up to it, I have one light hooked up to it, and I have the filter hooked up to it. Should the power go out, all these things will keep running. And testing it before, I did it once just to see how long it would last so I can know what to expect. And it lasted several days. It lasted 3 or 4 days before it just completely ran out of battery, and even then it would charge up during the day and run it, and then it would go like 1 or 2 hours into the night and then die. And with this fish tank, since they're all tropical fish and I have to keep it at a steady 78 to 80 degrees, I really can't chance the power going out and killing all my fish from freezing to death. So that's why I have that hooked up. It keeps them plenty warm while the power is out. 150 watt heater is enough to keep the fish tank at temperature. Obviously if I'm warming it up, I want both heaters, and it'd be much better if both heaters were operating, but if the power goes out, you gotta cut some corners. So the 150 watt heater is more than enough to keep it warm, at least to the temperature that they need to be at, which is good. And obviously having the filter running, it doesn't really do much since I have plants, but it keeps the water circulating and the air bubblers keep the oxygen in the water. So I'm good with the fish tank for a while with the power out. Every winter it seems like we have the power go out for at least a couple hours once or twice. So I want to be prepared for that. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like. If you really hated it, give it a dislike. If you want to see more content like this, or just more content that I make, be sure to click the subscribe button. I'm going to come out with another comedy on Fridays, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, guys, have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.